What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 22 of season 3 of the Football Corner podcast. I'm your host, Jeremiah Queen. And of course, before we get started with episode 22, I'd like for all my followers out there watching on YouTube to please hit that subscribe button, hit that like button on the video. It'll be greatly appreciated. And also, if you are listening to me on a podcast app like Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or even Spotify, please subscribe to the podcast. Hey, I already know what time it is. Let's cue it up. Let's get this episode off with TNF recap. Now, the Buffalo Bills had to go down to Foxborough, or is it up to Foxborough? Either way, they had to go to Foxborough and play the New England Patriots. The Buffalo Bills, at the time, were 0-2 in division games, and they knew they couldn't fall down 3. So They took care of business. The Buffalo Bills defeated the Patriots 24-10, and the ball game wasn't even close because the Patriots don't have an offense. We knew it would be a problem coming out of the offseason because they never officially had an offensive coordinator. It was either between Joe Judge or I believe was a special teams guy prior to being a head coach with the Giants, and you had Matt Patricia, who was a defensive guy. And I never heard of a defensive coordinator calling plays on offense. And even on the sidelines, you saw Mac Jones getting frustrated because he said, why are we running the ball? The running game is trash. Throw the freaking football. And he used other words than I chose to use. But Mac Jones is clearly frustrated with the way this offense is being run. And I think that a New England fan base are glad to see their quarterback is kind of fired up about it. Now on to the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills handled business the way they needed to because you had to. You should go 0-3 in the division. It feels like, and I'm not saying, but it felt like it doesn't feel like a Super Bowl team if you fall 0-3 in your division. Because now every team in your division has a game up on you. They have a game up if they have a tiebreaker. Now, they didn't do that. They're 1-2 in the division. The Jets and the Dolphins still hold the tiebreaker over them, which I hope the Bills can rewrite or expecting to have not be tied with the Jets. But the Dolphins can be concerned. In my next segment, I'm going to discuss the Dolphins, but the Dolphins are a really good football team. They have a half a game lead due to the Buffalo Bills at 93, with the Dolphins being 83. With the Dolphins have a tough matchup coming up. With Josh Allen did have one turnover. They led to 3 points. Oh, no. Actually didn't lead to 3 points. It could have led to 3 points, but what happened was Nick Foles missed a 48-yard field goal. It was just short, which is very shocking because Nick Foles, he's one of the better kickers in the league. But Josh Allen got the job done. 2 touchdowns, a little over 200 yards, 90 QBR, over 100 passer rating. He was efficient. Stephon Diggs, 7 catches, 90-plus yards, receiving, touchdown. They actually tried to run the ball. I thought James Cook in his limited carries was efficient. It looks like this Sean McDermott as the head coach is looking to see what they have to do. So their defense is not going to be able to hold good teams, good offenses to 10 points. Especially while Von Miller, who's out for the foreseeable future, he went on IR this past week. But yeah, Josh Allen, this Buffalo offense will have to carry this team, and I think they'll win more games if they lean on the running game with Devin Singletary and James Cook. We have a new segment on this podcast, and it's called Best of the Best. I will be discussing 4 teams, 2 games this weekend that contend with some of the best teams in the NFL. And the first matchup, we have to go to probably the game of the weekend. And that is the Dolphins versus 49ers. Now, you got the 49ers who are number 1 in points allowed in terms of defense. We're only giving up 15 points a game. And they're number 1 in number 1 in rush defense and also number 1 in yards given up. And did you know the San Francisco 49ers have not allowed a second half point in 5 straight games? That's incredible. That's amazing. Now on the Dolphins on the other side, the Dolphins are a high-power offense. I mean, since Tua has been the quarterback, they have not been stopped at all. I mean, literally. The Dolphins are 8-3, and they're 8-0 when Tua starts and finishes the game. 8-0. That is just facts. And And when you watch the Dolphins play, defenses are so scared of the receiving threats and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle that they give them a lot of cushion because because speed kills. And when you watch their games, they're wide open. I mean, it's not even close. They're wide open. Dolphins are averaging 25 points a game, which is sixth best in the league. They're number two. They're number two in passing yards. They're number two in total yards on offense. The Dolphins are a team to reckon with, and it's Mike McDaniels versus his mentor and Kyle Shanahan. And if you don't know the past of Mike McDaniels and Kyle Shanahan, they have really followed each other for the past 14 years across 6 franchises, with it being the Browns, Falcons, you name it. So they've known each other for a long time. We'll see who will get the better. But if I had to pick in this game, I'm always going with defense. Statistically, if you look at the history of top-ranked offenses versus top-ranked defenses, the defenses have always been always got the victory. It's most offenses are not ready the first time for the physical nature of defenses like the 49ers, who are built to hit you. And they fly around the field. They're that safety. I can't think of his name. He did safety from USC, Tungafailoa. Oh my goodness. I can't say his name, but he was a protege of Troy Polamalu. Kind of looks like him too. Long hair, curly hair, all that good stuff. But that guy knows how to. He flies around football. I think he has 3 or 4 interceptions on the season. This Kyle Shanahan offense and this defense by the 49ers is crazy. And the defense is led by DeMeco Ryans, who needs to get more love because he is doing a heck of a job. And also, can we talk about Jimmy G? Can we talk about how they disrespected him? They cast him aside. I mean, at one point, Jimmy G wasn't even practicing. He was just reading plays and studying plays on a tablet in the offseason. Y'all didn't want this man for the future. Y'all got Trey Lance. I understand Jimmy Garoppolo had injury history, but you got Trey Lance, who can't complete over 60% of his passes and limited starts so far in the season. Trey Lance is looking like the fourth best quarterback in that 2021 draft class. Only Zach Wilson is worse than him. Jimmy G took you to a Super Bowl. Jimmy G took you to a NFC Championship game last year. When Jimmy G is healthy, your team is at worst in the playoffs in the title game. And you casted him away. And what he do? Like a good player, a team oriented player, he came back when Trey Lance got hurt. He came back and willed your team and gave you a fighting chance to be a Super Bowl contender this year. Trey Lance, I'm sorry, and we'll see what happens in year 3. Trey Lance did not look like the guy. Jimmy G is phenomenal. He's playing at one of the highest levels he have seen in his career. He's playing better than when he went to the Super Bowl, and I thought it was one of his better seasons when he had 27 touchdowns, over 100 passer rating, so completing 67% of his passes. I mean, if you look statistically, what he has done in his 59 starts as a 49er is on par to what Kurt Warner 59 starts was when he first got the Rams, when he first became the starter of the Rams. And Kurt Warner is a Hall of Famer. If you look at these numbers right here, Jimmy G is a little better. I'm not saying Jimmy G is going to be a Hall of Famer, but Jimmy G is a top 10 quarterback right now playing. If I had to get a vote, he'll be the top 3 quarterback in the NFC right now. Only Jalen Hurts and Geno Smith have played better this season over Jimmy G. I have the Niners beating the Dolphins in this matchup. Now, the second matchup, which is even more exciting, is the AFC Championship game rematch with the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, these teams are offense. Kansas City leads the league in points per game with 29, and the Cincinnati Bengals are 5th with 25. Joe Burrow is playing at a phenomenal level right now. Since 2021, he has the highest passer rating of all qualifying QBs. He's number 1. And number 2 is Aaron Rodgers. Joe Burrow is that guy. He's him. Okay? If you don't think Joe Burrow can play quarterback, if you don't think Cincinnati Bengals are for real, even in the offseason, when I had to do my predictions, I still had the Baltimore Ravens win their division, right? Because it's just the Baltimore Ravens just have a winning culture there. But the Cincinnati Bengals, I thought, would be number 2. And I thought that would be really good. Because Joe Burrow last year played like an MVP. And even though he was sacked the most, and his offensive line is still not great. A little bit better. Offensive line a little bit better, but still not great. Joe Burrow has beaten Pat Mahomes twice. And he only played him twice. He's 2-0 against Pat Mahomes. And that was last year. Now I know all you are thinking, well, it's only limited sample size. But that's what else you want to go on? I mean, he never lost to Pat Mahomes. And Pat Mahomes is our GOAT of recent memory. So when you have that, and Pat Mahomes is going to do what Pat Mahomes does. I mean, the reason why I don't talk about Pat Mahomes as much as I do, because he's proven we know what he can do. He speaks for himself, and so far Pat Mahomes is my MVP. Their offense is high powered, which is so surprising because they don't have Tyreek Hill. Like, kudos to Andy Reid, kudos to the offensive coordinator Eric Bieniemy for being able to still be a number 1 offense, even though you lost your arguably number 1, number 2 player, and one of the most impactful players of offense in the league. I mean, you saw what he has done for Tua Tagovailoa in Miami. But they have gotten guys like Sky Moore, Juju Smith-Schuster, Marquez Valdez-Scantling, and you had to go with all tight ends and Travis Kelce that Pat Mahomes could throw to be able to be impactful. I'm not going to pick the Bengals in this game. I'm going to pick the Chiefs. I think the Chiefs, I'm going to play it safe. I'm going to pick the Chiefs, but I would not be surprised if the Cincinnati Bengals were to go into Arrowhead and beat the Chiefs, because Joe Burrow does have his number. Thanks for watching and listening to the Football Corner Podcast. Podcast episodes will be dropped on Mondays and Fridays, as well as YouTube videos on Mondays and Fridays. You could click the link in my description in order to follow the social media links to my podcast social media pages. And also, you'll be able to stay up to date on new drops, new takes, and all that good stuff. Thanks for watching. See you next time.